So Taiwan's an interesting place to choose to travel to. What made you pick that destination?
You know, everybody asks that question, and it kind of evolved organically, I would say. It started probably back in January. You know, I was like watching different like YouTube videos about learning like Chinese, and like I downloaded like, you know, Rosetta Stone like Chinese, you know, level 1 or whatever, because everybody says Chinese is such like a hard language, and I was like, you know, why is that? So I just like looked into it a little more, and it was crazy. Doing that, it was kind of really, I don't know, just exciting learning, you know, a new language, and I hadn't really had that feeling before. And so I just started doing it more, and a lot of these Chinese teachers, you know, it seemed like they were from Taiwan. And that's how I started researching Taiwan more and even knowing what it was to begin with.
Okay, what do you think people think when they hear Taiwan? You know, what's the normal American or someone think when you tell them, oh, I went to Taiwan? What it pops in their head? What popped in your mind before you first even knew?
When I say Taiwan, they're always like, oh, like Thailand, you know? They, you know, some people know what it is and they just think like, oh, you know, it's like China. What popped into my head, it's hard to say. I just like, I didn't have any like real like, you know, concrete expectations, you know? I just knew it was gonna be something totally different than here. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know what people normally think, but a lot of people didn't know what it was, and they would just be like Thailand and didn't really have a lot of information on it. Like I knew, you know, Taiwan, oh, capital, Taipei, and found it on the map, but I really didn't know anything outside of like, you know, that. Okay. But I'd watch some like, you know, Netflix like documentaries on like food in Taiwan and stuff like that. Some whatever Anthony Bourdain type things.
What was the food like in Taiwan?
It was great. There's a lot of diversity of food, a lot of bakeries. You know, I ate a lot of bakeries out there. Seafood, like street food. Food's really cheap, so you can, you know, get full off of like $6. And you can just like eat food off the street, or you could go to baller restaurants if you want to, or a lot of like different local places. You know, eating at restaurants, I don't know, it's kind of intimidating if you don't know Chinese. So for like maybe like the first week or so, you know, I really just like ate street food, ate at bakeries, you know, because it was easy. You can point and say like, I want this, I want that. You know, you don't have to try to like read a menu. But later on in the trip, like, you know, I actually like sat down at a restaurant and you know, ordered in Chinese, things like that, which was, you know, interesting. It was fun.
What were the weird dishes you got to eat, or, you know, what's something that people would be like, whoa?
Oh, okay. Ate some squid, you know, I'd never had that before. Like the goat bone marrow. I ate some weird stuff. It was like, it's so hard to explain, but it was warm, like kind of like cream of wheat, rice, like hot, like alcohol broth with these balls that tasted like dough with peanut butter inside. So really, you know, there's all kinds of interesting stuff you can eat out there. Different like kinds of smoothies, you know, and drinks. Drink places are everywhere. So if you're into drinks, it's the place to go for you, for sure.
What was the most contrasting thing society-wise from there to here? You know, what's the biggest?
For like how many people are in that city and how like, you know, congested, you know, how tightly packed it is. Stuff's just like way cleaner. You know, there's no like garbage on the streets. but then there's like no trash cans either. You're like, how do they do it? You know, and like the subway is just like so clean. There's like no performers, no like no beggars, no panhandlers or anything like that. It's like literally people are in there, they use the subway and they're like out. You know, they don't eat on there, and they're like really really, you know, polite and like, I don't know, catering to elderly people as well. You know, you can always see like when an older person gets on the subway, you know, somebody will give up their seat for them, you know, right away. Like, so it's really interesting. That was really interesting. See, it's kind of like, you know, I don't know, touching moment you could say. You know, everybody was like so eager to like give up their seat for, you know, an elderly person on the subway. You know, it's not so much like that, you know, out here. I know I went to, like, after I came back from Taiwan, I went to Chicago, like within a week, and there were, you know, homeless people sleeping on the train, you know, like with their shoes off. And not just one, like multiple homeless people in this car were just like sleeping and like camped out, you know. And so the contrast is like crazy.
What's the overall thing you learned, you know, about this trip to this specific location?
That trip to this specific location. That's like such a, you know, deep question, right?
It is. What's the big takeaway? You know, what's the thesis?
The thesis, you know, it was an experience. You know, I'm not gonna say like I went to Taiwan and now I got the answers. You know, because I'm forever searching. But it, you know, opened my eyes, you know, just to how people live in another city. You know, how it is to like try to get along with when you don't know the language somewhere. You know, and you kind of have a better understanding now coming back like here why like immigrant groups like congregate together, you know, and form like these communities out here the way they do, you know, because like communication is so you know, so vital, right? And if it's hard to communicate, like, you know, you're gonna gravitate to people, towards people who it is easy to communicate with, you know? Like, it's crazy when you're out there and then like, oh, you see another, you know, American person, you're like, oh, man, what's up? You know, and they're like always trying to like talk to you for a little bit because it's just easy to like, and especially when you're traveling by yourself, you don't really have anybody to like talk to a lot of the time. You know, you like gravitate towards like, you know, other English speakers because it's easy to communicate. You know, just like when somebody comes over here, they're gonna, you know, gravitate towards, you know, other Chinese speakers or other, you know, Spanish speakers or whatever it may be, you know, because that's how it's easy to get on like the fastest, you know, and it's really hard. So you got to think, you know, taking the time out to like learn the language of somewhere. That you know, it takes a lot of effort, and for the people who do it, you know, I just have more respect for that. You know,
Totally.
even, you know, so because I know how hard it would be to like go to China now and to be at a point where I could really like communicate with people, like speak, you know, fluently, and like express yourself the way I could in English. You know, it would probably take like another, like, I don't know, like 3-4 years of like really, you know, trying to learn that language to do that. So yeah, I think traveling does things like that for you. It gives you a better just overall perspective on, you know, your current, wherever, you know, you are, because you've been somewhere else.
So what's the other major Asian place that you visited when you were out there overseas?
So I went to the Philippines.
How was that?
You know, it was an adventure. It was cool, but I don't say, you know, I'm not trying to like rush back to the Philippines anytime soon.
Okay.
But that was an adventure. Like the first night I got there, like the plane, I went to Philippines because it was a cheap plane ride from like Taiwan, more or less. You know, it was another country I could, you know, do while I'm out here in Asia. So to like, you know, get the most bang for this trip, you know, see 2 countries instead of 1. So like from Philippines to Taiwan round trips, maybe like $150. And I was like, let's do this, you know. I know like a bunch of Filipino people out here, but you know, so let me see this country or whatever.
Okay. What was the Philippines like? What do you think people expect when they think of the Philippines, and what was it actually like? Expectations versus reality.
Oh, you know, just before I even landed there, you know, I was looking up like hostels to stay at and hotels, right? And all of them have directions on how to get there. And they'll like, you know, yo, don't take the airport taxi because, you know, they gouge you on the rates. And, you know, so there's all these like warnings and stuff, like not to get, you know, caught up in any scam or anything like that.
Wow.
You know, how to do it the right way before you even get there. So you're like, oh, you know, automatically you're like, all right, you know, gotta watch out or whatever. But it was really intense. Cause like it was hot, number one, and just hella like chaotic, you know. Like I said, the first night I went there, I was planning on staying at a hostel, and so the plane arrives at like, you know, 1 a.m., right? So I take a taxi to this hostel at like 1 a.m. in the morning, and they just like, you know, dude just drops me off at the door, right? And it's in like weird. It was like I'd never been to the Philippines. It was just like a weird kind of neighborhood I had never seen before, you know. But there were these like big, you know, type of houses, and so I go to the door, I like ring the bell, nobody comes to the bell, all right? So like I open the gate, and then there's like an actual like door to the house, right? Like so I knock on that door, like, you know, and like nothing happens. So I open the door, and like the door leads to these stairs. And so I go up the stairs, and then there's like a big ass chalkboard. You can see like this is the hostel now, you know. So I go all the way up to the stairs. And there's like, oh, buzz this bell, you know, for service, right? So I buzz the bell, you know, 10, 15 minutes, nobody comes, right? Like, so nobody, I'm just like all the way up in this, you know, house, and nobody's, you know, coming, right? And there's like a pool table, like rec room area, and like the doors are like wide open, windows are like wide open, I mean, you know, like, so, there's no like type of air conditioning, right? There's like just like
hot?
Yeah, it's hot. There's like some like recliners, you know, type chairs, like a pool table, and all this other like stuff in this room. You know, it wasn't nothing fancy. So I sit in one of these recliners, right? And I have like, you know, my backpack, my, you know, neck pillow, my, you know, other like bag and stuff. And I was like, all right, you know, I'm just gonna chill out here. If somebody, you know, comes in, I'll be like, yo, let me get a room. But nobody came. Like, I slept in that room until like 8, 9 in the morning. Like, the sun came up and all this stuff, and nobody showed up. So I just like picked my stuff up and went out to the street and like found a cab to take me to my Airbnb spot.
So you stayed in an abandoned house, pretty much.
Yeah, like an abandoned like hostel the first night. You know.
So I'd imagine at 9 they would be up.
Yeah.
About it.
I thought for sure, like by 8, 9 a.m., you know, somebody was gonna come through there, you know, and because I wanted to like get on some Wi-Fi, you know, just get like settled, but nobody showed up.
Wow.
And I just literally walked up in this place and like slept in the game room, and that was the first night in the Philippines.
Man,
you know,
that's awesome. What else? What else about the Philippines? What else cool happened?
After I went there, like I stayed at this, it was a building in like downtown Manila, and there's like a bank on the first floor, and it was like just apartments up above it, right? And the elevator, you know, would work and sometimes not work, right? So you never know. And sometimes you have to walk up, and that place, you know, it didn't have no air conditioning. Like it was hella hot. There was like, you know, little ants and stuff. It was crazy. But like it was in downtown, like, you know, Manila, hella noisy outside and things like that. It was in an area called Malate. I'm probably not saying it properly, but yeah, in central Manila, like the U.S. Embassy was like a block away. I remember, because one of the other girls staying in another room told me she was there to go to the U.S. Embassy and apply for a fiance visa. And she had like a boyfriend who worked at like Home Depot in San Diego. You know, just the random people you meet.
Online boyfriend.
Out there.
What was the going out like down there? Did you go out? Were you out in the clubs?
Oh yeah. Went out in the Philippines. Beer was really cheap. Food was really cheap. Then went out to like they have all these girl bars they call them where you can go and take girls from for a fee.
Okay, we want to get more into that. First before that, is it very lady man heavy? You know what I'm saying? Like all the stories you hear, chicks with dicks. You know what I'm saying? Is that the case over there with these lady bars that you speak of?
No.
Good. That's a misconception?
It's not, I wouldn't say it's a misconception because these lady man people you talk about, they, are walking the streets, in the areas where these bars are at. You know what I'm saying?
Trying to catch you up.
Yeah, exactly. Trying to catch you up, right? So you have to be very vigilant in that sense.
So what about these lady grab bars? What's that all about?
What do you mean? Oh, lady girl bars?
The lady girl bars, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, you go in, there's like a huge stage, decorated, they have different themes. One was called, I remember one was called The Wave, and you walked in, it was like all white and like, just waves.
Oh, that sounds wavy, that sounds
there's like called like Shipwreck. They have all these different themes and all these different names, but it's basically all the same thing. Big old stage, with girls paraded on it, and you can pick one, to drink with or, accompany you for the night. Or you can pick one of the like bartenders or servers if you want them. It was very, very interesting,
Did you end up taking any girls out of there? What was it like? What were the other people like that were at these bars? Like, what was it?
The other people, like, you were at a good one. If you walked in and then you saw, like, a bunch of Chinese dudes just balling out in the corner. Like, there's all kinds of people there, like Chinese, Australian, British, and other Asians, yeah. Like, I guess there's American military out there, military bases, so there's like all these American people out there too, So it is definitely a really diverse mix of people, and especially when you're at the bars, they ask you like, oh, where are you from, like, so you say America, they're like, oh, okay, but people are coming from everywhere.
So are those people balling out?
Some are, yeah, for sure.
Is that
one night I went out with this guy from New Zealand. Like, we were just in the spot and I was like about to leave and he's like, yo man, can I come with you? And I was like, yeah, sure.
That's cool, yeah. What was he about?
He was out there for business. Like, he worked for some like import company or whatever. He was actually really interesting. He had like worked in Africa and like all this other stuff. But he was like, in New Zealand beers are like $9. This is nothing. So he was just buying a bunch of beers. And we went to, this was when we were in Manila. So we went to like, I don't know, just hopped to like 4 or 5 different like these bar spots. And saw all these different girls. Like, I don't think we took any girls that night, but it can be a raucous time. It's kind of expensive though.
Okay.
That's where the costs like be racking up. Because just like out here, like beers in the club are gonna be expensive than beers in the restaurant. Or like beers you buy from the store.
So what's the difference between one of these girl clubs and like a strip club?
The difference between the girl club and
like
strip club?
what? So
they don't strip. They don't strip for you.
Oh, okay. Do you see anybody leave the club with these girls? How does that happen?
You just pay. They don't. The big difference is they don't really strip for you. Like you pick a girl, right, and they'll sit next to you. And you can buy them drinks that are like cost 3 times the amount like your drink costs, right? And if you like them, you can take them home and have sex with them, but they will not strip for you at the bar.
Weird.
You know, but they will be in like, you know, like bikinis and stuff too. And,
do the outfits get crazy, or do they even like?
Oh yeah, like you know.
Do they wear the same outfits? Is it a uniform?
There's like, dude, there's hundreds of these bars, so every different one has like, you know, different shit. You know, some they do like routines. You know, and like you can throw like ping pong balls on the stage.
What? Oh, explain this. What's up with the ping pong balls?
Oh yeah, some spots they'll like have like girls just like corralled on stage up there, and you can throw ping pong balls in, and then they go crazy to grab the ping pong ball, and I guess they get some money. Like you got to pay to like throw the balls, but it's like feeding, you know, a live ring of humans. It sounds so bad, but yeah, that's what it was.
That's exactly what it is. They're going crazy for these balls.
Yeah, these big balls. Yeah, but a lot of these spots like aren't packed. Like it's really, you know, it's really relaxed.
What's it like with these girls dressing the same? What does that do?
You know, when they parade like, you know, 50 girls in front of you all wearing the same thing. You know, it's like, wow, you know, these women are just out here like a commodity, you know, like meat out here, you know, for you to like pick the exact like slice you want, you know, and it's overwhelming. You don't even really know what you want. Like it's probably, you know, I guess people are gonna watch this and be like, oh, that's so horrible.
It sounds horrible. Like we're saying, it's like feeding live humans. It's like the commoditization, if that's a word, of women.
Yeah,
and it's just weird that I wouldn't even say it's that culture, because I'm sure there's aspects of that in America, stripping, whatever it may be. But like to have them paraded out like you said, almost like food or something. Like here's all these salmon that have been caught. Pick the salmon you want.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
That's just a crazy concept.
Crazy, yeah, you know, and like some spots, they're different. Like they'll come and, you know, literally like 4 or 5 girls, like, you know, all over you, like, you know, trying to ask you questions, like, you know, so you can pick one of them.
Okay, this is so interesting, but we have to move on.
Yeah,
We're gonna think you just went up in the girl bar the whole time.
Yeah,
all right.
I know.
What else? What's the main difference between Philippines and, you know, around here, or even the Philippines and Taiwan?
Philippines, it wasn't as dense, rightly populated. There wasn't as many like apartment, like, you know, blocks, kind of like there was in Taiwan. Philippines, you could tell there was a lot more, you know, just poverty. The gap was there.
Ooh,
you know,
okay.
There's people who are just balling, and then, you know, there's a lot of people in the cities who just like sleeping on the side of the street, and you know. In Taiwan, you don't really see that many homeless people, where like they almost are non-existent. Like I don't know that you don't see homeless people around the place, you know.
Interesting.
So that was a main, you know, big difference. Yeah, like Philippines was way more chaotic, you know, and you had to like watch out for yourself. You know, you don't know what could happen. You know.
Oh wow! So it's more scary than
Yeah, it was more. You definitely way more on your guard there than like Taiwan people are like, oh, it's so safe. You know, well, you can walk home 3 a.m. and you don't worry about anything. And that's what they tell you. Like even people at the hotels, they'll be like, you know, this is really safe. You know, go out, come back, and you'll be fine. Like don't worry about anything. And you know, yeah, I went out late and it was like nothing. Like you were not like scared, worried at all, or nothing. Like it's like this crime-free utopia almost.
Whoa,
it's
that's
weird.
interesting.
It's weird.
But Philippines.
Oh yeah, you know, something could go wrong here. You know, you got that feeling real quick.
Wow.
You know, I watched Locked Up Abroad. You know.
So no thoughts to bring any drug paraphernalia back over? You know, to try anything?
I was not trying nothing.
You know, I think watching Locked Up Abroad convinces everybody to not try anything crazy.
I know, that's the biggest deterrent.
Yeah, totally.
To illegal overseas like crime or whatever.
So what's the big takeaway? You know, because I would say the Philippines are a lot more known than Taiwan, and the people probably have a specific idea about the Philippines already. What's the general, you know, thing you got?
Philippines was more grimy than, you know, I thought it was gonna be, and that's with you know, somebody telling me before I left that Philippines was a shithole. like, you know, it was crazy. But don't get me wrong, you know, there's nice areas. And
Just like anywhere.
Yeah, well, just like anywhere. There's bad areas, but there's nice areas. But the bad areas in the Philippines, like, yo, you know, it's bad.
Okay, so coming back to the States, one of the places you visited was Chicago. Why don't you tell us about that, about the Windy City, for those of us who haven't been?
Oh, okay. Chicago was, you know, cool. It was like, I'd never been there before, you know. It was cold, hella windy, and it kind of reminded me of Minneapolis, kind of the way, you know, the look of some of like the buildings, you know, but it was definitely more populated. I stayed in a neighborhood called Wicker Park, you know, and I guess Chicago spread out into all these different neighborhoods, and you know, each one has its own characteristics and such. But went like walked through like downtown Chicago, Michigan Ave. You know, one of the things I had to do was go to the Bean. Everybody goes to the Bean, of course. That was a very satisfying tourist destination.
Very satisfying?
Yeah, you know, I don't know what it is about it. You know, it's just, you're like, oh, you know, this is cool. And I guess it's really called a Cloud Gate.
Really?
Yeah, it's not called the Bean, it's called Cloud Gate.
Did you get a photo with the Bean?
Oh yeah, you know, it's all up on Instagram, you know, we got photo, video, everything you can think of at the Bean, for sure. Okay. Downtown Chicago was cool.
Is Chicago as crazy as people think it is? You know, Chirac, guns, gangs.
You know,
you could get murdered.
I was only there for like 2 days and I, you know, didn't hit the rough part of town.
I guess you shouldn't anyways, you're not supposed to.
You know, so I didn't really see any of that. I only saw, you know, nice downtown Chicago, nice, like, you know, hip neighborhood, like good, you know, views driving around the place. So.
Well, I think with talking about the Philippines too, you know, everywhere in the world's got the nice areas and they've got the bad areas, you know, so it just depends.
True though.
So what, you know, what's some things that you did in Chicago that aren't normally done here? You know, some things to take away, some food, some pizza. I don't know.
Oh, we ate at this like Greek restaurant. What was it called? Like Greek Island, but it was pretty cool. It was pretty baller. Met a couple of my friends out there, Alex, Karis, Elba. You know, they showed me all around Chicago for the night. And went out to dinner with them, you know, so Chicago was a real, like, chill trip.
Was it windy?
It was windy out there during the day. It was cold.
Okay.
You know.
What was the clubs like?
I didn't go to no clubs in Chicago.
Oh, you didn't go out? What'd you guys do?
I was actually there to go do an interview, you know, that didn't go through.
Okay, so, what was the interview?
For that, like, Live Nation stuff.
You know, let's elaborate. Live Nation, that sounds awesome.
Let's not elaborate.
Well, hey, we're just gonna assume it was some super high level stuff.
Yeah.
And you only got passed on because of your color, your skin color. All right. Let's see. What's the main thing like to take away from Chicago for anybody who's never been? You know, what should they do when they get there, and what would you recommend people to be? What do people need to know about the Chi-Town?
You know, with my only like 3 days, it's, you know, more like 2 days experience in Chicago, you know, I'm not probably the best person to ask that question, but it is a very like diverse city, you know. It has everything, you know, you could want out there. Whatever you're into, you know, somebody else out there is probably getting into it, you know.
What was Chicago Tinder like?
Chicago Tinder was good, man. I was getting some matches. I wasn't like, oh man, I wish I was there a little longer. Like with any, you know, bigger city, the Tinder depth, you know, the depth of swipe is just so much more.
I think with when you're traveling, you gotta get Tinder Plus and pre-visit the city with the location stuff and start swiping. That way you can have the time to meet up with somebody.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I forgot to, slice this into the Taiwan part. But the Taiwan Tinder,
Okay.
You know, it's a whole nother. It's the same thing as Tinder, but they call it Paktor. They even have commercials on TV, and it's like me Jintien Paktor Lama. Like, did you Paktor today? And it's the same thing as like it's Tinder. You know, swipe right, left. If they swipe you, you know, you can talk to them.
How many Asian chicks you get to say arigato to from the app?
Like 3 or 4.
You met up with them?
Oh, like Tinder in Taiwan, I actually had a lot of matches, but it was late, you know, because I didn't know it was gonna work out there. But it's out there and shit. Yeah, it was crazy, you know. But there's Tinder. They have their own version of Tinder, which is the same thing, and it has other like features that like regular Tinder doesn't have. There's like a popular like people's list, you know, that you can try to message those people or something.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, it was a little different.
So
and
what,
they would send you like the updates and it'd be in Chinese and I couldn't read it. But
so did you meet up with anybody off there or what? Did you get to actually hang out with some peeps?
you know, I was planning to, but you know, when you're moving around every like 3 days, 3 to 4 days, you know.
Well, you visited a lot of countries out there. It wasn't just these big ones. You visited a lot of places.
Yeah, it was a lot of like cities within the country too. So you're moving from spot to spot. So like you talk to a girl or whatever, and you're like, oh, let's meet up, and she's like, oh, I'm working. You
Let's
know?
meet up right now.
Yeah. You're like you're so geeked up to meet up, but then they're like, you know, oh, I got school or work. You know, they're just not out there just
With
wilding.
babies.
Or babies, God.
Okay. Well, we're gonna cut that into the other clip.
Cut that in there.
Well, that's good. You know, Chi-Town Tinder. It's good to know.
Chi-Town Tinder's good, but I didn't stay in Chi-Town for too long, so I don't. You know, I'm not the expert out there yet, but I will definitely go back. It's a nice city, hella clean. But you know the weather out there. You know, I ain't not. It's a little too cold.
Too cold.
Yeah.
Too cold for you. Chirac's cold. Now we know.
Chirac.
Las Vegas, the city of sin, as he drinks the beer. Tell us about it.
Las Vegas.
This is on your trip. This is on your globe-trotting trip. So, you know, then you go to Vegas. You know, what's next? What happens there? Give us a quick recap.
You know, Vegas, I went for a trade show. You know, was up in there for 2 days. Like I went and saw like Agenda, Capsule, like for that like Magic Weekend and stuff like that. Vegas, you know, I like Vegas. You know, Vegas is the bomb for 72 hours. I think that's the sweet spot. You know, over 3 days, like, is too much, you know?
Were you staying out till like 6 a.m. every day?
Yeah.
That's why it's 72 hours.
Yeah, that's why it's like 72 hours. That's all you can, you know, really handle. Because, like, yeah, you go, I remember I got to my hotel at like 3, and like the trade show, like, you know, floors closed like around like 5, 6, right? So go for 2 hours, like, you know, do a walkthrough, like, to see.
What's a trade show like out there?
They're cool. You see a lot of interesting, you know, stuff. Like the way different brands present themselves, you know? And a lot of new brands, like, before, you know, you're going to see it in the store and things like that. And there's a lot of different people, you know, you see go there. Like, there's a lot of celebrities and stuff. At Agenda, all the, like, rappers who have their own, like, clothing brand are there, and, like, Reebok has a big-ass booth where, like, Rick Ross is getting a haircut, you know? Like, random-ass things like that are going on.
I think a while back when I went, LRG had DJ Drama, just DJing their little booth area.
Yeah, it's stuff like that. Yeah, I saw, like, Jim Jones, like, 3-6 Mafia, like, Ben Baller, like,
So were
T.I.
were you showing them your sandal stuff, or were you just getting info, or what?
Yeah, it was info, you know, because you got to know what it is if you want to be successful there, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you got to do the research.
Yeah, you got to do the research, you know, so it was that in-person, you know, fashion business research.
So in Las Vegas, I know you got a lot of the cards. Did you call any women from the cards?
The cards? Oh, like that worked at the slots? Oh, no. But
I always wonder if you get who's on the card.
You can though, yeah.
Like, yo, I want the girl from the card. Don't send me anyone else.
It's a lot of like, you know, sales reps and such. But it's fun because like, you know, it's all everybody goes out after the trade show like that night, you know, because it's a half work, half vacation for them too.
Yeah, totally.
You know, they're going to Las Vegas to work the trade show.
They're in Las Vegas.
Yeah, when they usually just like work in a desk in some other, you know, city, right? So it's like everybody, you know, is at these trade shows all during the day and then just goes out hard at night. So there's all these different like after parties and stuff like that revolve around it too.
So what's it like being a normal person in Vegas when you know everybody around you is probably super rich, balling out?
I wouldn't think everybody's super rich balling out.
Okay.
You know, there's a lot of the average in Vegas too, you know.
Right.
People who done saved up, you know, to be out there. But you definitely, you know that there's pools doing more than you are right now.
Totally.
In Vegas.
What was Vegas Tinder like? Endless swiping.
I think that was a time in my life where I, you know, deleted Tinder.
Why? Why?
You know, sometimes you just gotta get that stuff out. You know, I don't even want to think about swiping right now.
You just want to be in the moment.
Yeah. I think that was a time in my life I wasn't doing the Tinder.
Okay. Hey.
I was off the tip.
You know, I'm sure it's amazing, the Tinder out there. I'm sure there's a lot of very, very hot girls that work in the clubs.
Oh yeah, and a lot of just people coming through too.
People coming through that are like you, trying to meet up the same day. Geek.
Geek to meet up same day. Only have 3 days to do it, and that's what's like tight about Vegas. There's people coming from everywhere, you know, who are trying to do the most in like this 24 hours right now.
Yeah, totally.
You know. And everything's like open till crazy, like late time. So like going to the club at like 3 in the morning, you know, isn't anything weird or out of the question. You're just like, oh, let's go there now, you know.
What's a good, why don't you go ahead and recap Las Vegas for the people at home that are thinking about maybe going for their first time or going to a show or whatever it may be.
Vegas is one of those cities you need to go to just for your, personal education.
Mm.
You know,
what do you find out about yourself in Vegas?
No, just to know what it is. You know, everybody needs to see Vegas.
Okay.
But you should go. You know, anything can happen. But like outside the strip, I'm like I wouldn't want to live in Vegas.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, it's a 72-hour place. 3 days, then you get out of there. You know, because outside the strip there really isn't that much there. And of course, people in Vegas are going to be like, "Oh yeah, whatever. We got this."
What was the most grimy, unforgivable thing you did in Las Vegas?
Grimy, unforgivable.
Yeah,
thing.
Offense.
You think I just like let those secrets out?
So what you're saying is, what happens in Las Vegas stays in Las Vegas.
Perfect.
So Los Angeles, expectations versus reality. What's it like for someone who's never been there?
For somebody who's never been there, I was taken back by the land geography of the place.
Oh, okay.
The ups and downs and the curvatures of the road. You know, I wasn't expecting it to be that crazy and, that easy to get lost out there. That's the first thing that, hits you. Then the no parking, Either nothing's close enough to walk to, but they have nowhere to put your car. So that's the constant struggle of just trying to find a parking spot out there.
Did you see the Hollywood sign?
Oh yeah. Okay. I went to the Hollywood Walk of Fame with all the stars on it. I did a night in Hollywood. So I saw Hollywood. It was, I thought it was going to be nicer.
LA is a lot more dirty sides of the road than people think.
Yeah.
Some more grimy of a city. But it's super nice. Did you see any celebrities or at the Walk of Fame, what stars did you see on the floor? Or did you see Batman out there?
Oh, I saw some good ones. I know I got it all in the footage, you'll see it in the video. But I think there was Jennifer Lopez and I can't even remember. But you know, I saw some notable stars from the Hollywood Star Walk of Fame for sure.
Okay. What's the coolest thing you did out there, you think?
What is the coolest thing I did out there? You know, went out a couple nights, went to USC, saw that, Santa Monica, Venice Beach.
What was the beaches like?
Beaches.
Venice Beach.
Venice Beach was cool. One saw like Abbot Kinney, that you know, retail street they got right off of Venice Beach down there. I wanted to like, you know, I never saw where like the actual spot people were like lifting weights. I guess I just didn't go that far down. But Venice Beach, that was like one of the first beaches or oceans where like I actually, you know, reached down and touched the water. You know, I didn't touch the water anywhere else like that before.
You ever touched ocean water before?
Yeah, no, that was a moment for me.
Oh, okay.
No,
Achievement unlocked. How deep did you go?
Oh, I didn't even...
Shark level?
I wasn't even like in swim trunks or anything to go deep. I just, you know, literally went, touched the water.
Okay.
And you know, oh, cool.
You know, the ocean's a scary place.
It is.
And just touching the water and seeing the vastness of nothing.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of a very humanizing thing. Like, damn, dude.
It is.
This is huge.
It is. The beach is like really long too.
Did you see the pier?
Yeah. I did the pier on Santa Monica and the pier at like Seal Beach. I saw that one.
Okay, Seal Beach. You saw our friend there.
Yeah, what's up, Janine? We met up with her, had lunch, went to Seal Beach. It's like your neighborhood beach in California.
Very wholesome.
Very, very wholesome. Yeah. Nice, like old style street. You know, where they have a number of different shops and restaurants, but nice place. You know, very not. It didn't seem touristy or like hustle bustle at all.
Okay. Did you run into any problems at the Seal Beach?
They gave me a ticket.
That doesn't sound very wholesome.
I know, right? They're doing you dirty with the tickets, and I thought, you know, that I was like, oh, this is a rental car, a ticket, it's a random, you know, town in California, and they're never gonna get me. You know, so I just threw that shit up.
Yeah.
But you know, it came back.
So no to the beats.
Yeah, everybody
Don't do
know. You know, they'll find you for that random ticket in that random city, and you'll be like, how? You know, but they do.
So what's the big takeaway for somebody? You know, Los Angeles, the city of angels. You know, one of the destinations in America. What would you give a quick recap about it for anybody thinking about it?
Los Angeles is nice. You know, there's a lot of, there's anything you want out there, you know, like as far as like living style, you know what I'm saying? You can live downtown, you know, you can live in like a house, like a neighborhood type house, or, you know, different kinds of condos, right? So there's a lot of options. Mm-hmm. You know, I think Los Angeles is really cool because of that. As well as, I forget what I wanted to say right there.
But Los Angeles is amazing, pretty much.
Yeah, I wouldn't say amazing.
Shots fired.
Shots fired. Yeah. I wouldn't say amazing, but but everything, you know, it's what you make of it, I guess.
So
but Los Angeles has a lot of cool attributes, and it seems like everybody out there is trying to, you know, people are more energized out there.
Totally.
You're like on their grind, like, you know, trying to make something happen.
Yeah, I'd say that's the most thing I like about Los Angeles is people are chasing their dreams, everyone, so no one has any time to be negative, because that doesn't get you anywhere. So everybody's like ready to go, ready to make it happen, and like no one's like just trying to BS because ain't nobody got time for that.
Everybody's about something out there, you know, they're ready to go. So that's kind of, you know, energizing.
Yeah, LA, New York, people are about it. People about that life.
Nobody's just out there just chilling.
You can't.
Everybody's making moves.
You'll get squished out.
Squished out, you know, boxed out the pay.
So LA, 9 out of 10 should go.
9 out of 10 should go. I feel that's another city for your education. You know, everybody should go.